What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Now, in this episode, I'm going to speak about probably the one planet I resisted most in my entire life. Now, this planet, my goodness, what can we say about the planet? Now, what is the planet's name? It's Saturn, okay? I avoided Saturn. I didn't like Saturn. I didn't like working. Man. I didn't like it. I didn't. And yet I did sometimes. And that, for me, is what Saturn really is about. It's about work. It's about structure. It's about physical reality and working within your limits, honoring your limits, and using them to expand past them. Now, many people give Saturn a bad rep. It's Saturn, it's Satan, it stifles you, it limits you, it's suppressing you, it's bringing you down, it's punishing you. It's not punishing you, bro. How can Saturn punish you? It's there to guide you. It's a council energy. And certainly, Saturn is about physicality. And physicality has limits, right? If we imagine that we've all come from spirit, the great ocean in the sky, and we come down to physical, we get more and more separate, more and more edged in these bodies. Of course, we're going to feel limited. We have to use the bathroom. We have to get on the bus if we want to go somewhere or fly to another country. There's limitations down here. However, we can also expand into those limitations and embrace them. And that's what Saturn asks us to do. Saturn is the energy of tie your shoelaces. Saturn is the energy of eat your vegetables. Saturn is the energy of drink water. Saturn is also focus. Like, just kind of get on with the main thing. Get on with the work. Like, don't just look for some flashy new gizmo or gimmick in your business. Just focus on the basics. Make sure the basics are down. Your foundations are down. That's what Saturn really is about. It's about baseline worth, baseline foundations, and working within the limitations of your life. And not underestimating those basics. Saturn energy is, I'm bored. Saturn comes in. Why don't you just go for a walk? We'll stabilize you. You'll get fresh air. Maybe you meet someone or an animal along the way. You pet a dog or something. You'll have a pleasant time. And having a pleasant time and a walk in that moment is enough. Or I'm moody for some reason. Saturn comes in. Have you eaten? Oh, no. Well, maybe your emotional problem is not as esoteric and crazy as you might think. It may just be you need to eat, bro. That kind of thing. It's the nuts and bolts of life. That's how I kind of see it. It's the baseline. And if you can work with Saturn, it's probably the essential. It's like an essential energy. I see it. Kind of like without Saturn, you're a bit like a floozy, almost. You lack consistency, stability, kind of giving up sometimes. I think older people may lack that energy. Just kind of give up. I'm just going to give up on my health or exercise or doing basic things and kind of just let things rot. Saturn's a strong energy. It's in ancient traditions, it's associated with bones and frames, your teeth and hair and all these things. And I believe it is. And you imagine the bones, they're the foundation. They're the core of the body. Without the bones, everything just flops to the ground, right? And so bones and Saturn are important. And that's it, guys. And what I would say one gift Saturn gives you through working with it is a sense of satisfaction. Just showing up to things, doing a good job, doing the work, going to the gym and working out. And afterwards you get this great feeling of satisfaction. It's like when you go for a great meal. you know, an enjoyable meal, a healthy meal. You feel good. Maybe you worked out as well that day, and you come out into the evening and you just feel great because you just got the basics done. You nutritionized yourself. You gave to yourself, and that creates a feeling of well-being, of satisfaction. And I think that's really what Saturn is trying to give us, is that feeling of stability, that satisfaction, that soundness, and that strength of being alive. So that is it, guys. Now, as I always like to do for novelty, which celebrities do I feel house a strong Saturn energy? I think first one is Alex Hormozy. He's like a worker bee. If you don't know him, he's a really up and coming. Well, he's not up and coming, but just he's blown up in the last few years. American entrepreneur. He owns acquisition.com, and he has that energy. He's just very straight, very sensible, very stable, and I love it. I love that energy, but I didn't like it before I started working with Saturn. I used to find it boring. I would label it as intrusive, and really it's life, man. It's being an adult in a sense. Now the second one is Clint Eastwood. He has that energy, right? He has that kind of like, you know, you see him smoking, or he's fixing up his car in the movies, and he's gruff, but he always gets the work done. He stands up for himself. He's stable, strong. Clint Eastwood, maybe a bit of a rough, borderline violent version, but that's the kind of Saturn energy. And yeah, I just think anyone who's working, who's willing to work, and is sensible, grounded, and doesn't delude themselves about being in physical reality, and is working with physical reality, has a strong Saturn energy. So I encourage you to work with Saturn if you haven't already, or if you feel resistance to work with Saturn. Certainly look at that. Are you putting off work? Are you putting off growing? Do you have issues of money, stability, basic things, maybe your health, maybe your relationships, right? Have a look at those things and see how you can work with Saturn to bring in more of the strength, maybe a bit of order to the chaos, and some stability. So that's it, guys. Saturn, previously my most underrated planet, one I avoided. Now I realize it's a godsend. It really is. That part of ourselves represented in the solar system as Saturn is a gift. So work with him. I think the Greek god equivalent of Saturn is Kronos, I believe, who was the father of Zeus, but don't quote me on that. But again, just strong, fatherly, grandfatherly kind of energy. So yeah, Saturn. Work with him means a strong energy. Alright guys, I love you, and I'll speak to you in the next one.